Wow, I wasn't expecting to go up quite so soon. I don't think Allen Ginsberg needs much of an introduction, too. He's that guy right there with the lines coming out of his head, right behind me. Not loud enough. Can you hear me now? What did I say? I don't know. What did I say? The lion for real. I came home and found a lion in my living room, rushed out on the fire escape screaming, "Lion, lion." Two stenographers pulled their brunette hair and banged the window shut. I hurried home to Patterson and stayed 2 days. Called up my old Reichian analyst who'd kicked me out of therapy for smoking marijuana. "It's happened," I panted. "There's a lion in my room. I'm afraid any discussion would have no value." He hung up. I went to my old boyfriend. We got drunk with his girlfriend. I kissed him and I announced I had a lion with a mad gleam in my eye. We found up fighting on the floor. I bit his eyebrow and he kicked me out. I ended up masturbating in his Jeep parked in the street moaning, "Lion." Found Joey, my novelist friend, and roared at him, "Lion." He looked at me interested and read me his spontaneous Ignu high poetries. I listened for lions. All I heard was elephant, tiger, and hippogriff, unicorn, ants, but figured he really understood me when we made it in Ignatz Wisdom's bathroom. But next day he sent me a leaf from his Smoky Mountain retreat. "I love you, little Bobo, with your delicate golden lions, but there being no self and no bars, therefore the zoo of your dear father hath no lion. You said your mother was mad. Don't expect me to produce the monster for your bridegroom." Confused, dazed, and exalted, bethought me of real lions starved in his stink in Harlem. Opened the door. The room was filled with the bomb blast of his anger. He roaring hungrily at the plaster walls, but nobody could hear him outside through the window. My eye caught the edge of the red neighbor apartment building standing in deafening stillness. We gazed at each other, his implacable yellow eye and the red halo of fur waxed roomy in my own, but he stopped roaring and bared a fang, greeting. I turned my back and cooked broccoli for supper on an old iron gas stove, boiled water, and took a hot bath in the old tub under the sink board. He didn't eat me, though I regretted him starving in my presence. Next week he wasted away, a sick rug full of bones, wheaten hair falling, enraged and reddening eye as he lay aching, huge hairy head on his paws by the egg crate bookcase, filled up with thin volumes of Plato and Buddha. Sat by his side every night, averting my eyes from his hungry, moth-eaten face. Stopped eating myself. He got weaker and roared at night while I had nightmares. Eaten by lion in bookstore on Cosmic Campus. A lion myself, starved. Professor Kandinsky, dying in Lion's Flophouse Circus. I woke up mornings, the lion still added, dying on the floor. "Terrible presence," I cried. "Eat me or die." It got up that afternoon, walked to the door with its paw on the wall to steady its trembling body, let out a soul-rending creak from the bottomless roof of his mouth. Thundering from my floor to heaven, heavier than volcano at night in Mexico, pushed the door open and said in a gravelly voice, "Not this time, baby, but I will be back again." Lion that eats my mind now for a decade, knowing only your hunger, not the bliss of your satisfaction, O roar of the universe. How am I chosen in this life? I have heard your promise. I am ready to die. I have served your starved and ancient presence, O Lord. I wait in my room at your mercy. No, this is a big fat book, and I was looking through it. I got it from the library. Ginsberg wrote a lot of really great poems, but it was kind of comforting to realize he wrote a lot of really crappy poems too, and they're in here as well. Most of them are good. Some of them are. I'm not going to read this whole poem. I'm just reading a fragment from Kansas City to St. Louis, and of course, I'm going to read the St. Louis part. St. Louis calling, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the Burroughs School, pink-cheeked Kenny with the fine blonde hair, his almond eyes, aristocrat gazed, Morphy teaching English and Rimbaud at midnight to the fawns. WSB, leather-cheeked, sardonic, waiting for change of consciousness unnamed in those days. Coffee, vodka, night for needles. Young bodies, beautiful, unknown to themselves, running around St. Louis on a Friday evening, getting drunk in awe and honor of the terrific future these red-dried trees at sunset go through 2 decades later. They could have seen the animal branches wrinkled to the sky and known the gnarled prophecy to come if they'd opened their eyes out of the whiskey haze in Mississippi riverfront bars and gone into the country with a knapsack to smell the ground. Oh, grandfather maple and elm, antique leafy old oak of Kingdom City in the purple light, come down year after year to the tune of mellow pianos. Salute, silent wise ones, cranking powers of the ground, awkward arms of knowledge, reaching blind above the gas station by the high TV antenna. Stay silent, ugly teachers. Let me and the radio yell about Vietnam and mustard gas. Torture, tear gas, legitimate weapons, worries language beyond my comprehension, the radio commentator says himself. Use the language today. A great blunder in Vietnam, heavy voices, a great blunder once you're in, one of these things, stay in, withdraw, language, from the mouths of senators, trying to think of senators, trying to think on their feet, saying, politely, shift linguals, said Burroughs, cut the word lines. He was right all along. A procurer of these dogs, take them from the United States, Major Cady, as long as it's not a white dog. Sentry Dog Procurement Center, Texas. No dogs trained are ever returned to the owner. French truth, Dutch civility, black asphalt, blue stars, tail light procession speeding east, the hero surviving his own murder, his own suicide, his own addiction, surviving his own poetry, surviving his own disappearance from the scene, returning in new faces, shining through the tears of new eyes. New small adolescent hands on tiny breasts, pale silken skin at the thighs, and the cherry prick raises hard, innocent heat pointed up from the muscular belly of basketball, high school, English class, spiritual victory, made clean at midnight in the bathtub of Old City, hair combed for love, millionaire body from Clayton or Spade Queen from East St. Louis laughing together in the TWA lounge, blue-lit airfields into St. Louis, past billboards, ruddy neon, looking for old hero renewed, a new decade. Hillwink of houses, monotone gray road bridging the streets, thin bones of aluminum sentinel dark on the suburban hump, bearing high wires for thought to traverse river and wood from hero to hero. Cranes all well, the wanderer returns from the west with his powers, the shaman with his beard in full strength. The long-haired crank with the subtle, humorous voice enters city after city to kiss the eyes of your high school sailors and make laughing blessing for a new age in America, spaced with concrete but sold by yourself with desire, or like yourself of perfect heart, adorable and adoring its own millioned population, won by self wakened under the radiant signs of power stations stacked above the river, highway spanning highway, bridged from suburb to suburb. Thank you very much.